Hey, welcome to this lesson on how to play Silent Night on guitar. My name is Steve Krenz. I'm here with Guitar Gathering, and there's a PDF that goes along with this lesson. So the link is in the YouTube description down below. So if you can, go ahead and download that. Let me play it for you, and then I'll talk about and then I'll teach it to you, and I'll talk about what we can do with it. So let me just play it for you here first. There you go. Beautiful little, not so hard arrangement of Silent Night. I've played this one for many occasions over the years, from candlelight services to background music in restaurants. So all kinds of wonderful things you can do with this, and it's fairly easy to play. So let's get started. The normal key for Silent Night is the key of B flat. That's what you're going to see in a lot of hymnals and stuff like that. So, but it was originally played on guitar, and so on guitar it lands well in G, so that's why I put it in G there. If you did want to put it in the key of B flat to play along with other people that are singing, or if you're playing it at church or something like that, you'll need to capo at the 3rd fret. That'll get you to the key of B flat. So, all right, so let's talk about what's happening here. If you look at the music, it's basically 2 pages, and I've got the music notation at the top, and I've got the tab and the bottom line there. You'll see also numbers that are circled. Those are fingering numbers, so that kind of tells you what finger to use when you're doing this. So it starts out really soft and tender. I'm playing it with finger style, and so we start on this G shape, but I'm going to use my 2nd finger down here on the low G, and put my 3rd finger on this high D on the 2nd string. Now, you'll notice I've got the G holding out. He's for 3 beats there. And then I've got some other notes that are just arpeggiating that chord. The melody notes are in the upper part with the stems up. And all of that I can play with just this shape there. When we get to the 2nd measure, I just take my 2nd or 3rd finger off. And I'm going to add my 1st finger down here on this A, kind of making it a G2. And then I basically play that again in measures 3 and 4. And so that's, once you get just kind of that first move, you've got a good hunk of the tune there, because it just repeats those 2 bars. Look at the next line down. This starts with that D chord, but I'm going to use a larger form that may be unfamiliar to you. It's a D5. Basically, it means it's a D chord, but it doesn't have the 3rd in it. It's just the root and the 5th. So I've got an open D, and then I got my 1st finger on the, 3rd string, 2nd fret. 2nd finger on the 2nd string at the 3rd fret. And then I'm really stretching my pinky out here for the 1st finger at the 5th fret. Kind of get this open D sound. And then I revert back to the normal D. You could even do a little hammer on there if you want to, with your 2nd finger from the open string. And then I'm back to the G shape we started with. Except this time my 3rd finger is on the 1st string at the 3rd fret. Now that chord there, that's a G2 with a B in the bass. Anytime that you see a chord and you see a slash and it's got another letter underneath that, that means it's not 2 chords you're playing there. It's the top chord is the chord, and then you have slash. Whatever's underneath the slash is the bass note that they want you to use. So this is a G2, but it's got a B in the bass. first finger, third finger, and then I'm going to put my second finger down after I play that G. Now remember to let everything ring. That's what makes a beautiful arrangement, fingerstyle arrangement of anything, is just let these notes as much as possible, let them ring. So don't play it like this. Push them down and keep them hold. There you go. Do you hear the difference? Then we go to the next line. This is the third line down, measure 9. And I'm going to do a C2. So I'm going to keep my second finger on that lowest note, which at this time it's switched to the 5th string. And now I'm playing a C2 chord there. That high E is the melody note, so that's the note I want to bring out. The other notes I want to try and have a little bit less in volume, but that melody note, that highest note, which is usually played with your ring finger, that would be, you want to bring that out a little bit. Here's an A minor 7th, but I'm going to add my pinky to this first string at the 3rd fret to catch that melody note there. And then the melody goes, and I'm going to harmonize it in 6th. That's an easy thing that you could do to harmonize a melody, is just to play it in 3rds or in 6th. And in this situation, 6th sounds better. So I harmonize that F sharp with the A and the E with the G. Then I'm back to the G2. Now, instead of just staying on that G, I went to its relative minor just to give a little bit of a different sound. So that's where the E minor 9th comes from. Now look what happens here. I'm going, hear that wonderful, beautiful tension right there between the F sharp and the G? So in order to keep that going, I'm going to even slide into that F sharp. That's fun. So I'm playing the F sharp with my second finger. And in order to keep everything ringing, instead of just dropping everything and playing that D open, look at the tab. I've got that D, the last note on page 2, I've got that notated playing on the 5th string with my 3rd finger. There you go. So if I played that last line, starting in measure 9, it would be... playing that high G with my pinky there, harmonizing 6th. Here's this open, slide up to the F sharp. Again, keep everything ringing, that soup of the sound just ringing and harmonize all together. Do it next page. This line is exactly the same line that we just played. What did I do there? I just hammered on from the open strings, the open 3rd and open 1st, to catch that. Just another little nuance you can add to it. Here's that same lick again. I can slide up to that F sharp. Great. And so now we're on the middle line of the page 3. I've got D5. That's the same shape we did before. Now, here's the biggest move in the whole song, right here. This A minor, I'm going to slip up here to the 5th position. And here's what's happening. I'm playing an open A, and then on the last 3 strings, I'm going to bar with my 1st finger. But I'm going to reach out with my pinky here on this 1st string and catch all the way up here at the 8th fret on the 1st string to catch that high melody note right there. Then I release it. It's already underneath because I already have the bar here with the 1st finger. That's a little tricky to catch this all ringing here and keep that F sharp without hitting another string. There you go. Then we go to the E minor. Now this may be an E minor shape that you're not familiar with. Most folks tend to play E minor like this. This is a different way to play an E minor, or an E minor 7th. That's a common way to play an E minor 7th, but we're not playing that D. We're just going to skip right to the So all I could really play is the... And I'm using my second finger and the fourth finger here for those notes. And then this next chord, I'm way up here at the 5th position again. And what do I have here? I've got my second finger on the 3rd string at the 6th fret. First finger on the 2nd string at the 5th fret. But that would be a typical A, but I've got to have this melody note of this B here. And you can play that with your 3rd or your pinky. Pinky is a little bit more comfortable for me. And now that is the high point of the song. Every song has a tendency to focus on one particular high point in the song, and it usually comes about 3/4 or 7/8, sometimes right before the end, but it's usually somewhere between in the last third of the song. You have generally the highest note of the song, the most complicated chord of the song, something like that, something to indicate its high point. It's a very classic thing. Here it is. We get to the highest note that we've seen. Well, I guess that note... It's not quite the highest note, the next highest note, but we go to a different type of chord, a chord that is outside of the normal chords for the key of G. This A, not an A minor, but an A dominant, an A2 chord, an A major chord, that would be functioning kind of as a secondary dominant. And it really twists the ear a different way when you do that. So that's a tough line that from measure 17. So let me play that nice and slow. Slide up here to the 5th position. Back down to the open position. Now, if you're really slick, you can slide with your pinky that you've already gotten on that G in measure 19. Slide that up. Slide that up to the high B when you move your hand up to the 5th position. Tricky. But it can give a really nice lift to the song right there. And you generally give a little bit of a pause right there. That's your high point, and now we're going to come down the mountain real quick. This is a D with an F sharp. Could be an unfamiliar form to you, but it's a great form in the key of G. You can use this chord a lot. It's a D chord with / the F sharp as the lowest tone. So how we play that is we got our second finger on this low F sharp, third finger on the A on the 3rd string, pinky is on the 2nd string of the 3rd fret. And you have to form it like that because of where we're going. Then our first finger comes in and catches that C. So you may be tempted to do this, but then you're going to get caught when it's time for that C. You got to go up, move your hand all around. So in order to think about that in advance, we're going to put form that D with an F sharp with our second finger and our pinky on that high D. And then I'm going to back to my G. G2 really. And then you can repeat back to the beginning there. That's what the repeat sign says there. Or if you want to just end it, you can just keep going. And there you go. And you just do a little bit of a strum down with the G2 there. So that is this basic solo arrangement of Silent Night. Let me go ahead and play it for you one more time. I'll talk you through some of the things that we talked about there and to close us out. Now, if you want to, play it in B flat to kind of give a little bit more of a magical sound to it. I don't have to do anything too crazy. I'm just going to put on a capo. So I'm going to put a capo on at the 3rd fret, and now it's sounding in the key of B flat, because B flat is 3 half steps up from G. So now it's going to sound up here. So my advice is when you learn this, learn it in open position first, and then if you really want to, take it up a notch and make it a little bit more unique sounding, you can put a capo at the 3rd fret and play it at the 3rd fret. So let me play it for you here, and then we'll be done. A little bit of Silent Night to get us going here. Have fun learning this arrangement. Now, I did do a full lesson on this that gives multiple arrangements for this in various keys, and I teach you the melody, I teach you the chords, and there's a PDF that goes along with that. If you're interested in getting the full lesson for that, the link for that is in the YouTube description down below. But here's one of the three arrangements that we included in the full lesson. So learn it, have fun, have a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you guys next time.